right to practice our faith as we see fit, not just during the holy days, but all the time, always, wherever. It doesn't make any difference, and whomever we wish. We'll be fighting, because I think it's an important thing, we'll be fighting as part, Common Core, and we're going to protect totally the First Amendment. Well, he's a handsome-looking guy. I guess we want to get to some questions. Okay, let's do that. You want to do that? Let's do that. Go ahead.
Mr. Trump.
Yes.
The first question, national security in Israel.
Right.
Do you prefer the use of executive agreements or the treaty process in foreign relations? And what's your position on the so-called Iran deal? And how would your administration, under your leadership, deal with relations with Iran and the Middle East?
Okay, good. I like the treaty much better. It's a much stronger agreement. It would have to go through Congress. You'd have to get it approved. I mean, this deal that's being made with Iran right now is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Israel is in big trouble. I will protect Israel totally. Bibi Netanyahu is a friend of mine. In fact, when he ran for office, he asked me to do an ad. I did an ad for him, and he won, so I'm happy about that. But I did an ad for him. But we will protect Israel. You go the treaty route, and then you're going to go through Congress, which is really, in a sense, a vote of the people, but I think it's very important. The Iran deal, I don't have to go through everything. So bad from the standpoint of the 24 days, which can be much longer. From the standpoint of $150 billion that's going to be used to create nukes and also to create terror all over the place. All over the place. I will do such a number on them when I get in, if I get in. You will be very, very proud of me. We will be respected, believe me, and that deal will become much, much better. I know you have a lot of people say we're going to rip it up, but they don't understand the way it works. But I am going to take that deal. I do that. I buy contracts that are bad, where people have lost a fortune with a bad contract. I take the contract and I scrutinize the contract. I make it so brutal, and I do good. And we're going to do that. We're going to make it so strong. Israel is going to be safe. We're going to be safe, and they're never going to get any nukes, that I can tell you. The only thing I hate about the timing, because money is a very important thing for our country. We owe $19 trillion. It used to be 18. Now we have to start saying 19 because it's going up. And it will start going up very, very fast now because of Obamacare and other things which are costing a fortune. But $19 trillion. The thing I hate so much, we're giving to Iran $150 billion. And by the time I get there, assuming you folks decide that I'm the right one, by the time I get there, that money will all be gone. It'll all be spent. It'll all be given to a lot of people and a lot of bad people. And that is so sad. And it's going to go very quickly. They're going to give it away very quickly. They can't give it to them fast enough. A horrible deal, an incompetent deal, done by incompetent people, and they should be ashamed of themselves. But we will make it good.
The Second Amendment. Why do you believe the Founding Fathers produced the Second Amendment?
Well, I believe strongly in the Second Amendment, and it's something we need. We need it for security. We need it for safety, unabated. We have to have people checked for mental health problems, the mental health institutions. And if you look at places like New York and others, they've cut back so far that we have people with serious mental health problems, and we're going to do a lot to fund that because we have to get these people back in the hospitals. But I'm a very, very big Second Amendment person. One of the things that I've seen over the last little while that is so absolutely ridiculous, I mean, totally, is taking the guns away from the military. You know, we lost some great people recently. Great, great people. Really highly decorated military people that know how to use their weapons. And they were in a free zone, gun-free zone. And they were killed. One badly wounded, but killed. And if they had the guns, that wouldn't have happened. Could have happened, maybe one instead of 5, but they were killed. And it is really a sad situation. So we would certainly give the guns back to the military. It's hard to believe we're even talking about this. Hard to believe we're even talking about it. And you might have heard, it's sort of interesting because these polls came out and they said Trump won the debate. The polls say Trump won the debate. And they say that the newest poll just came out this morning, Trump 36, not on the debate, this is the big deal. Trump 36, Carson 12, and then Reuters just came out, Trump 35, Carson 14, Jeb is 8, and he wants Common Core. So when people hear he wants Common Core, I think, and he's weak on immigration, those two things I think are not so good. So we're honored by that. But I will tell you, we will keep that Second Amendment. And I was just going to say a little story is that when we had the 2 prisoners escape, rough guys, had guns, very dangerous, upstate New York. They came, the first people ever to escape from that prison, maximum security. A woman and her husband were on television. She was petrified, but she was always against guns, always against. And the husband wanted the guns for protection and maybe for other things, but for protection. A lot of them like it for recreation, but we're talking for protection. And the woman was always fighting him and always fighting him. When those 2 prisoners escaped and they were within the vicinity of that house and that area, that neighborhood, she felt so good having those guns. And she went on television. She said, all my life I've been fighting my husband, and now I realize he was right. And I thought it was a great story. So I tell you that story. Have a good time.
Question related to ethanol. The federal renewable fuel standard displaces Middle East oil with homegrown domestic fuels. As president, will you support our national security with the renewable fuel standard?
Okay, yes, and I've a very strong yes. There's no reason not to. We need it. We need every form we can get. Ethanol is terrific, especially with the new process. And I am totally in favor of ethanol, 100%. And I will support it.
Religious liberty is under attack. What will you do to ensure that people of faith don't suffer recriminations for speaking out or acting upon matters of deeply held religious beliefs?
Well, I think you can see where I'm coming from, and I feel so strongly. In fact, it was mentioned in my second paragraph. Religious liberty is so important, and I will fight for your liberty like nobody can fight, because I'm a good fighter. I will tell you that. I'm a good fighter. And I win. I really win a lot. And we will win. Not this, stuff with the all talk, no action politicians. They'll get up here and they'll give you 20 minutes on how they're going to solve the problems having to do with religious liberty and other things, and nothing will ever happen. I know them all. It's not going to happen. I will fight and I will get it done. One thing, coming over in the car with some of the folks in the car who are really friends with almost all of you, great people, I was talking about the word Christmas. You go to a store in New York City, they don't have Christmas anymore. They don't put it up. They don't use the word. You take your boy to Macy's and you take your boy to these stores, they don't have the word. And I want Christmas reused. I want people to be able to celebrate Christmas. All right? And somebody said, well, that's not the biggest part. I said, let me tell you, that's a big part. That's a big part. You know what they're doing. Every year it gets worse and worse. And before you know it, you won't be able to go to church the way they're doing it. And we don't have people fighting for us. We have nobody fighting for us. Do you know that one thing that I have to say it, a person who's very, very top on national security, one of the top people in this country, said to me something that I was amazed at. Over the last couple of years, if you're in Syria and if you're a Muslim, it's very easy to come into the United States. Now, that's pre obviously the horrible thing that's going on right now with the migration. But I'm talking about over the last few years. If you're a Muslim and you come in, you can come in easy. If you're a Christian from Syria, where they cut off your head, where they drown you, where they do things that you're talking about medieval times, this you wouldn't believe. But if you're a Christian from Syria, it's almost impossible. In fact, it is virtually impossible to come into the United States. Okay? And that's the way we have our country now. That's what we've been reduced to. Believe me, I will protect you and I will fight for you, and nobody will fight better and nobody will get you more and I'm one of you. Just remember that. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it. It's been a great honor.